so not in the above those Han River. So production is more concentrated in Gyeongsang province or Jeolla province. And then so you have a silk, cotton, linen, and then you have Raimi. Raimi, I am going to write down the Raimi. Raimi is coming out of that Raimi plants. It's almost like an indigo plant. Raimi grows well in Chungcheong province or even to Gangwon province, seasonal. Like you harvest it. When do they harvest it? It grows well in the springtime, and then you collect it and then get the fibers out of it, and then you usually weave them in the winter time. Then you don't have agricultural activities. Women usually weave over the winter. So Raimi, cotton, hemp, and silk.
Okay. I thought cotton would be a main thing, but I was just wondering where it grew or if they grew it locally. So
exactly, I always tell my students that you should be aware of that cultivation conditions. You know, like we eat sort of strawberries all year around, right? We forget that strawberry is a spring fruits, right? Or grapes we eat all year around because they are imported, but grapes are summer fruits, right? But in pre-modern condition, society, clothes are also seasonal. So you wear some seasonal clothes, and it also involves seasonal activities. So people don't have time for a lot of how can I say, pastime activities. Working class people are hard. They have to work all day long, especially, in Kim Hong-do's painting, I think about that woman with a little baby. She do the laundries a few times a week, and then during summertime, she works in the field with a baby on the back, right? And then what will happen in the wintertime, she probably have to weave her own cloth in order to get dressed. People don't have monetary economy, right? They don't have monetary resources. They have to produce something in order to barter or sell it and get a little bit of money. So it is really hard. Anybody else? Question? So hold on, let me go to.
Well, I mean, not as much a question, but I found it really interesting that you mentioned that when getting married young, the boys are usually young. I feel like in most cultures or like older time periods in like Europe and everything, the girl was younger than the guy.
Oh, no, but no, not necessarily. Even in Europe, it was common that girls are sometimes 2-3 years older than the men. But in European case, you always need a legitimate wife. And, especially in royal families or aristocratic families, these first wife usually die during childbirth or labor, right? Or shortly after child is born. And then you need the second wife, third wife, so that by the time this duke or king of a certain country getting married the third time, wife is really young, right? Like 14 years old. So the story is similar for Korea or China too. Let's say this is a very good wealthy Yangban family, and then their first grandchild is only 11 years old, then they are trying to find a girl 14 to 16 years old so that this couple can have a child rather sooner than later. But then again, the first wife may die at the age of 19, during the second childbirth or something. Then they again get a woman younger, right, like 14 to 15 years old. And then maybe by the time he gets the third legitimate wife, he is already 43, but the wife will be very young, right? So that's the story. But it is a common sense that girls are a couple of years old when the family gets married their own son for the purpose of descendants.
Right.
Any other questions?
How to make color paint?
Oh, how to make a color paint? That's a very good question. So I have actually my own video that I can share. But first, I will tell you. So shinyunbok's painting, if you see on this particular screen, portrait of a beautiful lady is painted on silk. And then the women by a crystal stream that are, women washing clothes. This is watercolor on paper. So watercolor on paper is, as you can imagine, you do a little bit of line drawing with the ink only, and then you are going to add more colors and you complete it. But the silk painting, it involves multi-layer process, and then it takes many days or even weeks. It's more like oil on canvas type of painting because ink doesn't dry that quickly, and also when you have that pale face over here, you also paint white color on the back of the silk. Otherwise, the silk is naturally, what color is it? It's more like a ivory white. It's not pure white surface. So that if you don't treat it on the back side of the silk, the color does not appear clearly. It's a little dull. It's not as you thought. So silk painting involves multi steps, and then watercolor painting, watercolor ink painting on the right, as you see here. These are slightly easier. Okay, but I will show you the video in a moment. So let me go into. Do you have any more questions? Okay.
No, thank you. Thank you.
So let me proceed a little bit more because it's over. So Jangseong-eop is the end of Joseon Dynasty's court painter. So he composed his pen name. So he knew that Danwon, Kim-hong-do, and Haewon Shin-yun-bok. So he said, well, I should be one of three too. So he called himself O1, but here the Chinese character O means myself. So he wanted to sort of enhance his own status. But Jangseong-eop's subject matters are not so innovative in a way. He was very good at painting, so he used to paint these kind of Chinese subject matters of hawks on the tree, or that two horses and a man, steward who takes care of the horse. But these subject matters existed in China before. So he's more like showing his respect to Chinese masterpieces and figures in the landscape. Again, it's not the rear view landscape, it's more like a idealized landscape. So this is the end of my lecture for late Joseon Dynasty. So the true view landscape and what's the name of it? True view landscape and then genre painting, scenes of everyday lives are going together.